So the intersection of gaming and AI ML is a very, very complex topic and huge topic. Today, I'm just touching the surface of that. Thank you guys for having me here. I'm very excited to see also this community growing. Like a year ago, it was less than a year ago, it was like a few windows. Now it's growing, and I remember, my first project here was to build. I bought a Jetson Nano and a camera that it was like to build an ML system that recognizes boxes on my doorstep while I was on vacation in Greece for like 1 month last summer. And it worked. It was in production in my house. And while I was away, I was getting, messages in my phone with photos for boxes on my doorstep. So going through the process of, deploying the model in Azure or then in Jetson Nano at your house, and figuring out, oh, Jetson Nano doesn't have, Wi-Fi card, and you need to buy also, a memory card and space, and put the model over there, configure the model, iterate on the model. Because my first use case, I was very unlucky because it was a box outside of my doorstep and a dog next to that had the same color with the box. I got a message that I had 2 boxes, and actually it was 1. So I had to retrain the model and going through all of the pain point of, labeling the data, retraining the model, and iterating on that. So it was a very, fun exercise, and it was the beginning of my journey actually to AI. And as I said, I think it's one of the quotes on the website. It's one of my best ROIs. Getting into this community, the value that I get is amazing. I've learned so much, and that's why I keep coming back, because I'm growing with the community. So with that, my name is Michalis. I work in the gaming industry for a long time, mainly mobile gaming space. Product management. I started my career as a software engineer, doing object-oriented programming, wireless positioning systems, and stuff like that. Then I moved to gaming. I did some engineering work at the beginning of my career in gaming, and then transitioned to product management. I had a hybrid role at the beginning, engineer and PM, and then fully PM. Currently, I work for a company that is called techingaming. It's under Take-Two Interactive, where we have companies like Rockstar Games, Zynga, and 2K. 2K is known for NBA games. Civilization is another big IP. We have Grand Theft Auto from Rockstar Games and a lot of games from Zynga. However, today, I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of my company. I'm here as an AI enthusiast and as a proud member of this community. I want to offer my knowledge and share my passion for AI and ML and learn from all of you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I have some slides for you today. All right. Can you see my screen? I can't see any
Yes.
of the... Okay, perfect. I can't see any of the Zoom windows. So, okay, you can see my screen. Great. So the intersection of gaming and AI ML is a very, very complex topic and huge topic. Today, I'm just touching the surface of that. I'm sure in future, I'm gonna come back in this community, going deeper in certain areas. But I just wanted to give you an overview of the gaming space and what is happening right now. That doesn't mean that we are, as my company, doing or not doing this stuff. So here is our agenda for today. I only have 6 slides with actual content, and I'll show you some examples of the intersection of gaming and AI. So the first part is the mobile gaming, some market insights, understand the size of the business, what it takes to create a game at the very high level. I remove the scale economics from the agenda to just go into more AI stuff and some challenges. Also, the second part is a journey from the past decade to the next and some key challenges before the widespread adoption of AI in the gaming space. So first of all, as a PM, I start with the numbers. So every few years, the games industry reinvents itself via new technological breakthroughs. So past examples include the free-to-play era, which started around 2009 with novel game loops and business models, and the introduction of the mobile as a new content distribution platform, now representing around 50% of the total games market and is the fastest growing segment. Mobile free-to-play business model unlocked more than 3 billion players in the gaming world because of the accessibility factor. Gaming is the largest global entertainment with 184 billion in revenues in 2023. The gaming market, just to give you an example, is now larger than movies, music, and books combined. The projection for the gaming market is to reach 206 billion by 2026. As I said, we had the mobile breakthrough and the free-to-play era. Now we are experiencing a new transformative shift and is expected to have even bigger impact than the one before. The generative AI revolution in the games will drastically reduce the content cost. This revolution will kind of democratize the industry, enabling smaller teams to release, category leading games faster without compromising quality, immersion, and feature sets. When we look at the gaming, it's not dissimilar to any other product. We always start from the market opportunity, identify gaps in the market, understand player needs, and then do a lot of study over there and understand if there is an audience that can scale in a cost-effective way. Then once we do the initial studies, we go into the fun aspect, which is the game design and concept of the game, where we talk about the unique selling points, why this game is different than every other game out there, the core gameplay and mechanics. Essentially, games are fun, right? So you have to answer the question, what is the fun aspect in this game? The lore of the game, the art theme, the visual effects, the sound effects, and all of this kind of stuff. Then it's, of course, during the concept phase, you go back to the market and you do concept testing and try to understand what resonates with the players. And you have usually, some concepts that you test, and then you get the enough signals to go ahead and say, oh, that's the concept that resonates with the players. I'm going to go ahead and develop this concept. At the same time, when you're thinking about that, you think about the product strategy and the vision, which is, acquisition. How are you going to attract and onboard new users, targeted marketing, app store optimization, partnerships, user-generated content, company-generated content, then retention, how are you going to retain the players and keep them coming back with new features, new content, how you're going to expand the MVP content, create new content and stuff like that. Then monetization, how you're going to monetize the game, and then potential future growth expansion to expand the player base. Also, you have to decide the development and the technology, the game engine. There are usually Unreal Engine and Unity technologies are the two dominant engines in the market, but a lot of companies have their own custom engine. Also, analytics, tools, infrastructure, and any other technologies there. And the last part is the launch strategy and execution, right? You go when the game, your MVP is ready, you go through soft launch phases where you launch the game in limited geos, in limited number of players. You iterate, you set goals, and you improve the product until it's ready. You open up more geos throughout the process. And more platforms. Sometimes, companies start from Android, then expand to iOS, or both at the same time. You optimize the acquisition strategy, the channels that you're using, Meta, Google UAC, communities, budgets, and all of this kind of stuff. So that's at the very high level, the key components that you have to think when you build a game. So then I'm gonna transition to some challenges. So the mobile gaming space is challenged. I would say the gaming space is challenged in general. So in mobile gaming, there is no double-digit year-over-year growth anymore, and the market is saturated. We also see plateaued smartphone sales and stagnant smartphone adoption. You can't count on smartphone sales to drive adoption anymore. Also, there are macro challenges. You have the reversion to pre-COVID norms and recessionary environment. Another big hit in the mobile gaming space is the privacy incursions, the app tracking transparency that Apple introduced a couple of years ago that increased the acquisition cost and the efficiency of the performance marketing in the games. Also, one of the problems of the gaming is that it is largely deterministic and device-centric. It is through knowing where you're going and all of your options to get there that developers can create all of the assets that are necessary to deliver an immersive experience. Also, it's highly dependent on the device that you are in and not player-centric. So if you want to move the needle in gaming, you essentially need social multiplayer immersive experiences that generate infinite, ever-changing content, provide a fresh and unique experience to players every time that they visit the game. And the last piece is the cost. The economics of the gaming industry have changed a lot as we get higher resolution devices and increased graphical capabilities. The cost of creating new games has increased. And for example, if you take, games are the most complex form of entertainment in terms of like large number of facet types that are involved. Have 2D, 3D, sound effects, music, dialogues, etc. So games are also the most interactive, with heavy emphasis on real-time experiences. So this creates a very steep barrier to entry for new developers, as well as a steep cost to produce a modern, chart-topping, and high-quality game. It also creates a huge opportunity for generative AI disruption. Just to give you an example, one very popular game, Red Dead Redemption 2, it took 8 years to build at more than $500 million cost. It has, beautiful, fully realized virtual worlds. It features more than 1,000 non-playable characters with their own personality, artwork, and voice actor. A world nearly 30 square miles, I think, in size, and more than 1,000 missions split across in different chapters. Also, I think it has more than 60 hours of music created by over 100 musicians. So everything is big in this game, and usually big IPs take a lot of investment. So imagine a future where asset creation is fully automated and done on the fly, and then it appropriately lit via ray tracing, essentially a transition from UGC, user-generated content and company-generated content, to AIGC, artificial intelligence-generated content. So with that, here is what we are doing. These are the table stakes in gaming in terms of ML, AI ML. This is what we have been doing the past decade. Just to give you an idea of what is happening, and this is wide adoption, right? First is the player acquisition, enhanced budget allocation by forecasting the game yield across various spending levels, optimize campaigns using ML by automating the budget distribution to different channels and partners. We use a lot of propensity models. These are predictive models to gauge active player behaviors, such as initial purchase, repeat purchase, or churn likelihood, and a lot of other actions. These models provide propensity scores, which are predictions about the likelihood of a player to perform an action. And then there is a ranking from the most likely to perform the action to the least likely. Then it's, of course, a retention prediction using early signals, activity, source, and like hundreds of signals to predict and enhance player loyalty and longevity. LTV prediction is another one. We forecast the long-term player value for targeted strategy development. Personalized offers, tailored offers to individual player experiences and preferences to boost engagement and revenue. And difficulty tuning. When you play the game, you experience different levels, they have different difficulty. So this dynamic adjustment of game difficulty to enhance the player engagement is happening using ML. These things are very, very important for automation, personalization, accuracy in certain cases, especially on the acquisition side and LTV, recommendation and scaling. Of course, you need large amount of data for all these. And as we know, the quality and the quantity of the data is a key factor to decide between rule-based and ML-based systems. So moving on from the past decade to the next decade. So I've bucketed all of these things into something that they call generative agents. I'm not sure if that's the right bucketing, but this is how I call it, navigating the next 10 years with generative agents. So generative agents are systems or algorithms that dynamically generate or alter content in the game. One area that is a lot of things happening right now is AI NPCs, non-playable characters. So there are advanced AI NPCs capable of learning, adapting, and navigating complex relationships with emotional intelligence. They possess memory recall, autonomous goal setting, and motivation-driven actions that enhance the narrative integration and the player experiences. So there are platforms like Character AI, Inward AI, and Convey that enable the creation of custom non-playable characters with unique backstories, personalities, and behavior controls. Inward, for example, specialized in context-aware AI NPCs with a wide range of human expressions and emotions. I'm going to show you an example of a basic example of Inward AI later on. Convey recently partnered with NVIDIA on a viral demo that I'm going to show you later, where a player has a natural voice conversation with an AI, I think Ramensev NPC, with dialogue and matching facial expressions generated in real time. So the second piece is the procedural content generation or dynamically generated words. Dynamic content generation creates new game levels, environments, and other types of content. Sometimes, in the games, we want to build new missions, new levels, new battles, if it's a battle-based game. And all of these things take a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of iterations. So this is another area that we can automate all of these things. This method essentially is blending procedural asset generators with large language models that you can create, entire games at runtime, essentially generated by neural networks. Personalization is another key thing. This is about enhancing the game's immersion and replayability through unique player experiences. Large language models and text-to-image diffusion models like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney create personalized characters, dialogues, and items, for example, skins, armor, personal weapons, and stuff like that. There is a game, it's called Airomancer. It's a role-play game that is powered by a custom gun-based anime model. So gun is, for people in the cohort, the generative adversarial networks with the generators and the discriminators and this conversation back and forth until you optimize the model. So this gun-based model allows players to generate unique characters, integrating personalization into the game's art and combat abilities, and also integrate it into the monetization system. Activision Blizzard, another big company that Microsoft acquired recently, has developed the Blizzard Diffusion, a variation of Stable Diffusion to generate diverse concept art for characters and outfits, enhancing the creative development in game design. Also, LLM-powered NPCs with adaptive dialogues offer a more personalized gaming experience. The other thing is the AI narrative storytelling. There are like the narrative of a game, a console PC game that is involved, and if especially it's narrative driven, can take a year or two to come up with. It's a lot of resources, a lot of creative thinking. Utilize generative AI for essentially infinite personalized storytelling, allowing players to engage in beloved universes for extended periods. So there is one company, it's called Novel AI, and they have a large language model that they call it Clio, which is used for storytelling in sandbox mode, and they assist human writers in overcoming writer's block. I'm going to show you an example there. Millions of writers, they use ChatGPT to provide inspiration. And also there are other companies like Hidden Door that they go one step further to train their ML models on specific set of source materials. For example, popular IPs like Wizard of Oz. And they work with IP owners to train the models using the assets and dialogues and everything from the specific IP, so that the fans of this IP can experience the IP in different ways and in different universes. And the last one is the AI gaming copilot. So a lot of games are complex, and it's very hard for some people to understand. There is a steep learning curve. So AI gaming copilots can assist players in navigating complex games and environments. Microsoft is developing an AI copilot for Minecraft, combining DALL-E, I think, and GitHub Copilot. Also, Roblox is incorporating generative AI tools to empower users as creators. Also, if we expand this concept from beyond co-creation of assets, it's an LLM trained on human gameplay could adapt to various games, right? If you integrate this effectively into your game, an AI could serve as a co-op partner when human players are absent, or as an opponent in competitive games. So these are the 5 key aspects that I clustered under generative agents, and they are impacting gaming in a big way, in big ways, actually. A lot of companies, big and small companies, are doing that. Are doing a lot of this. They are experimenting. The technology is advancing at an extremely rapid pace. And we see already the impact that all of these things will have in gaming. So here you can see this is a very small sample size of companies that they are solving different problems in the gaming space. So you see, the game studios, you see on the graphic side, 2D images, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, animations, kinetics, deep motion, and others, 3D assets, textures, world building. On the characters, you see NPCs with charisma AI, convey, inward AI, chatbots, music, speech and dialogue. So these are some, I think, investable companies in the space, but there are a lot more. And also here, I don't have the hardware and the companies that they are working, like NVIDIA and Apple, that they are essentially helping all of these, companies to realize their vision. So, however, we are still in very early stages in applying generative AI to games. And there are a lot of challenges to address before this widespread adoption. The first one is the legal and copyright challenges. That's a major issue that we face today, and it involves legal ownership and copyright protection. So the legal landscape is very unclear unless developers can prove that the complete ownership of the data used to train their AI models, right? So if you can prove that it's your own data, then you should be good. The other one is the dilemma of existing IP franchises. For owners of existing IP franchises, utilizing third-party AI models is very complex. The lack of clarity in legal rights makes it very, very difficult to confidently integrate these technologies in production pipelines. The compensation of the original content creators, this is a significant ethical concern that we can't overlook. With most AI models being trained on publicly available internet data, how the copyright works, right? And how do we ensure the fair compensation? The other one is the issues with replicating artistic styles. So there have been instances where users have recreated an artist's exact style using generative models. This is not only raises legal issues, but also questions about artistic integrity and the value of the original creation. Another big aspect is the cost and the operational feasibility from a practical standpoint. Most generative models today would be prohibitively expensive to run in the cloud, considering the global scale and constant operation required for modern games. The scale is massive of successful games. To scale these operations in a cost-efficient way, one potential solution probably could be, shifting modern workloads to end-user devices. That's why I said earlier what Apple is doing with the integration of stable diffusion models into the hardware and the operating system, and the advancement in chip technologies. It's going to help a lot in this area. However, this transition is very complex and will take time to develop and implement effectively. And the last one, which is very, very important also for a lot of companies, is the inherent bias in AI models. LLMs have biases in their training data that could be reflective in agent behavior. So, and the games are global. They are not only in the US or in Europe, they are all over the world. And we need to make sure that, the training data, there is no bias or very minimum bias in the training data. So these are some, big challenges that are preventing, a lot of companies on the widespread adoption of AI, and a lot of work has been happening here with regulators and, the big companies, development studios and stuff like that. So that's all. These are the 6 slides that I had for you. So what I'm gonna do now, and as I said, gaming is massive, and even when I was preparing this presentation, and I was discovering again another world, like new companies that they are focusing on different areas. The pace that the industry is moving is insane right now. So I was playing yesterday with in-world AI. So you see a lot of companies are using this platform. It's the valuation of this company is already 6 digits. I think it's more than 100 million. Sorry, 9 digits. So a lot of investors are there. A lot of reputable companies are working with them. So this is about building AI NPCs, right? So actually, I'm not sure if you can see my screen.
Not now.
Okay.
Involved is
Okay. So can you see my screen now?
yes.
Okay. So in-world AI is using GPT-3 to create, for the personalities, the motivations, the backstories, and the traits. So essentially, GPT-3 is powering the brains of non-playable characters. And then I think they use text-to-image diffusion models. I don't know exactly if they use stable diffusion or something else for the rest of the stuff. So they have a studio. It's called Inward Studio. So I created this character yesterday. So if I go and edit this one, so you add the core description. So I came up with a description for the character, the flows, the motivations, then, the dialogue style. So you give some input to that, the voice, what kind of voice do you want, the age, the talking speed. So you adapt all of these values. And then there are some advanced configurations around the personality. You add some traits here. You add, the mood, the personality, the anger, anticipation, introvert, extrovert, all of these things. And then it's also the knowledge and cognition. That's another thing. You add, what they know. Is it a common knowledge across a lot of characters, or it's a unique knowledge to this specific character? And also, there are some other parameters that you can set, like, the scenes, the long-term memory, relationships, and you can create this character. And then there are APIs that you can integrate this character with, your game, with the game engine, even if it's Unreal Engine or if it's Unity or any other custom engine. So that's and it's pretty quick, right? And if you see in action some examples on how this works, it's fascinating. Another one is Convey. So Convey is conversational AI for visual words. Let me show you an example of what NVIDIA did recently. It was a viral demo with them, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation. So look at this example.
We are thrilled to showcase an immersive and dynamic interaction between a player Kai and a non-playable character named Jin. This captivating ramen shop scene was created by NVIDIA using the latest RTX rendering technologies. NVIDIA collaborated with Convey, an NVIDIA Inception partner, to showcase how developers will soon be able to use NVIDIA Riva, Nemo, and Audio to Face for AI-powered speech, conversation, and animation. These models were integrated into the Convey Services platform and fed into Unreal Engine 5 and MetaHuman to bring Jin to life. Please take a look.
Hey, Jen, how are you?
Unfortunately, not so good.
How come?
I'm worried about the crime around here. It's gotten bad lately. My ramen shop got caught in the crossfire.
Can I help?
If you want to do something about this, I have heard rumors that the powerful crime lord Kuman Aoki is causing all sorts of chaos in the city. He may be the root of this violence.
I'll talk to him. Where can I find him?
I have heard he hangs out in the underground fight clubs on the city's east side. Try there.
Okay, I'll go.
Careful, guy.
So you see one example on what is possible with just a simple demo with Convey and NVIDIA on what they can do with the conversational AI and the non-playable characters. Another one is, I mentioned earlier, this game, airevolution. So in this case, these guys, they have built a generative adversarial network that you can create your own characters. I haven't tried this myself, but it's another viral thing in the gaming. And also on the narrative storytelling, I mentioned Novel AI, that they have built their own model. This is the model that they have built. It's a custom large language model. This is public in Medium. It's a 6-minute read, and you can see the comparison with other models. Also, I mentioned earlier Hidden Door, which is these guys are working with IP owners to expand the universe of specific IPs beyond books and movies and stuff like that, and train the data with sources from the IP owners. And of course, you know, character AI, which is another conversational AI that you can build your own character and have meaningful conversations. I had some conversation earlier today with you know, my character, and it's pretty interesting. So these are some basic examples of companies that they are disrupting the space, and that's all. That's the surface of the gaming space.